Okay, start lah. Kena guna mic.
On it. There's an on button on the mic.
Alright, okay. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming. It's a surprise for me as well to get an overwhelming response. Okay. Okay, so as you're already aware that we've just concluded a 20-day cave survey expedition in Peninsular Malaysia. Okay, so just a short introduction, but I must say this. Okay, so we were in Chambéry in France in 2022 for the International Conference on Speleology. So I was looking to have a quiet breakfast at a village when York say hi, and we talked a bit, and that's how we started. So York invited me to Laos for an expedition. I've never been to any cave survey expedition. I work in caves, but I've never been in any cave survey before. So I took the challenge and spent 10 days in Laos. Very good, and I really like what York been doing. So if I rely on my students, okay, I would take maybe about 10 years to finish doing all what we did in 3 weeks. And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Rose. I'm from Department of Geology, University Malaya here. Okay, so I'm a geologist basically, so I'm specializing in karst. Alright, so then we talked a bit after Laos, so here we are, and we just concluded that 20-day expedition. Alright, so basically we did 3 karst sites. So Langkawi, we know Langkawi is a global geopark, and it involves 2 of the geoforest park karst, which is the Kili and also the Dayang Bunting site. Okay, 2 areas of the 3 of the geopark divisions. Okay, in Langkawi. And then we also did Perlis, Kaki Bukit. Kaki Bukit is so new to me. So I was like, okay, this is the time that I really have to go and look more details on Kaki Bukit. So we spent the most time there. And then I choose Baling because Baling also very interesting in the sense that a few years ago I was invited by the locals to go and have a look to help them actually fight quarry. So it's like, you know, I was there and okay, this is a nice karst area, special. And I had 3 pioneer projects, did some work there in 2021, and there are like 21 known caves. So I decided to go and continue there. And Merapoh. Merapoh is also a geopark now, under Lipis Geopark. The most important caves for the tourism has been mapped, but there are a few that has not. So we sort of continue from the previous cavers. Okay. All right. So just the content, I'll do the welcome and overview, and also just a bit of geology and potential quaternary paleontology. And then the expedition objectives and introduction will be done by York, and York will continue with the most important thing, the cave survey. And then Zaris, Zaris is not here today, but Zaris already prepared a presentation that will be shared later. Okay? And also Zaris will talk about the very interesting history of mining in Perlis and how it's actually researched more during the expedition. And later Lee will continue with Langkawi, and I'll take over. I'll do a bit about Baling and a bit Merapoh before I summarize and do the acknowledgement, and we will followed by Q&A and closing. Okay, next. All right, so I just go quickly because I won't be spending too much on geology. So it's important for me to. I'm a lecturer, so I must talk like a lecturer. So this is Peninsular Malaysia. So geologists know what I'm talking about. So basically, based on the different tectonic terrain, so we have there are like two terrain of Indochina and Cebu Masu. So Peninsular Malaysia is sort of formed by the collision of these two terrain. So you completely have sort of different type of rock here, different age, okay, on the Indochina, and this is the Cebu Masu. So our expedition sites, basically 3 on the Cebu Masu side and 1 Merapoh in the Indochina side. Okay. All right. So basically we cover hundreds of millions of age, right? Age of rocks throughout the expedition. So in Langkawi, so these are the important limestone formation. Okay. So for example, in Langkawi, we covered the area that are underlain by Seto formation and the younger Chuping formation. All right. So Langkawi and Perlis sort of they're connected, yeah, geologically. Zaris will also mention this later. All right. And then in Baling, it is Baling group from the Grove formation. So this is also very old, Cambrian Ordovician, and no fossils here, but just to mention that it's considered to be one of the oldest limestone, yeah? Different from Langkawi in terms of thickness of limestone, so I'll show you a bit more later. And Merapoh is Merapoh limestone in Womusang formation. So it's sort of the youngest. So this comes from the Indochina side. So it's the youngest limestone of all area covered. Okay. So, all right. So if you look at this, if you look at that, so this is the geological map of Peninsular Malaysia. So, you know, we are here with Langkawi, Perlis, Langkawi, Merapoh over here, and Baling somewhere there. Okay? Alright. But if you look at this, you'll see that the distribution of the limestone is much bigger. Okay? Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, okay, sorry. When you, in reality, what we see on the surface is much less. So basically, most of our limestone is underground. Okay. So if you look at geological map, of course, it shows a much bigger limestone. But the most explored, the most accessible are the ones on the surface. So GMG come up with this. All right, so this is the area that we went to, Baling over here, and then Merapoh somewhere here. Okay, so as you can see, just scattered. All right, and even here, Johor one is actually under canopy. It's just recently exposed. Okay, so this is the distribution of the limestone in karst, basically karst in Malaysia. Next. All right, so I just go a bit, since I'm on geology now, so I just go a bit on the. Just a bit on the fossil. So I'm sharing with you the current study, ongoing study by master student in Chulalongkorn University, Nate or Satapak pun pita. So since we are in Langkawi, in Perlis, I went back to the field. So he just finished his masters, and we are still waiting for the acceptance of this paper. Okay, so just sharing with you that one of the caves in the Chuping Formation area in Perlis, we found. I hope I'm right here by saying this is a pellet of owl, right? Or from snake, I don't know. So they say it could be owl. So it's as you can see, this is like a canine, right? Something like. So it's probably some rats. Okay. All right. So this is some accumulation of the rat's bones, skull. All right. And then we have another cave that has a lot more of this material fossilized. Okay. So we have about 60 cm of the sediments filled with the fossils. So this is the study by Nate that will be published very soon. I'll be sharing on MCKC when this is published. So I'm so happy that it's actually very interesting. It tells us more about the occurrence of more drier climates in Perlis in the Pleistocene. Okay? All right, so what else do we have there? So we have lots of this in Perlis, especially we have shell median like this. And the shell median is basically always protected by a large column or stalagmite. Okay? So it's always under this huge skeleton. So we found like, I think 4 or 5 similar occurrences where we have a lot of shells, all sorts of species. I don't go into detail. And then Lee, one of our team member, believe that this is all archaeological. So just sharing, but we are not going to do details on this work. Okay, just sharing. And he also recognized this a bone from pura-pura apa? Tortoise ataupun turtle, we don't know, because this is close to the beach, right? Okay, so we've seen a lot of evidences of sea level, at this area. So it could be also from a turtle, I don't know, but this is a very good finding over there. Okay. All right, I think that's all from me. So for now, I'll continue. I'll introduce York and to continue with the presentation.
Okay, it's a pleasure being here. My name is Jörg Freibrot. I'm from the Swiss Biological Society and doing caving expeditions in Asia since many years, so more than 10 years in Laos, that's where also at Ross, and also more than 10 years in Myanmar and China. And as she mentioned, we met, and then she was in Laos, and we discussed first to go to the Baling area. And then I was looking into the area, and as you have seen on the map, the areas are quite small. And then we were developing the ideas what else to do here in Peninsular Malaysia. Yeah, so in the caving world, all the focus in Malaysia is usually on Sarawak, is on new national parks, clear waters, on the big cave systems in Sarawak, but very little is known in the caving world about Peninsular Malaysia. There's evidence and records, and I got very interested when discussing with Ross what else to do. And what especially it's very nice is that it's combined with some geoparks. So what we have doing, especially also Langkawi, is that the maps we create, they have a value for the geoparks and for the local authorities. And that is something I especially find very important. It's not just mapping the cave, also that the mapping is actually a purpose that it contributes to the geological understanding and also to the geopark inventory. And that is the case for Baling, as we said, also for karst protection to map them, but also for Langkawi and also Perlis, this is for the state parks. So that's how we developed these ideas, and then we added the content from the research. And the special focus for me, where I'll show some slides, is on the survey and cave training. So that is usually no time, but it's something very important to learn. And then also with Lee as an expedition diver, which is not always the case. Expedition caving divers are very rare. It's a very daring thing to dive in caves. So we had the possibility to check in the caves where we have water to check for diving sites. So first, the international team. So we compiled a team to do this. And what you see here is we were 6 international members from Switzerland, 1 member, Sarah, from Germany, and we also had 2 cavers from Tokyo's Paleo Club. And many of these cavers, you see, quite young, also women, and I always get asked what I need to do to go on an expedition. It's hard, it's probably challenging, I'm good enough. And I always tell people it's not how good you are in the caves, that is one part, it's important how you work in a team that has to manage with themselves. Because we don't know what we find. We don't know, we find water, we find shafts, we find sumps, it's squeezy. So you need a team that can manage this unknown. And then it's actually easier if you have younger cavers because they have less expectations. If you have a hardcore caver, he wants to do this and this and this. So when we experience in a team that never have met, so from my own people, I know only one person, other persons I didn't meet, but there's a high trust level. We managed to get a good team together to meet this challenge. And what I can say, it's only for the Malaysian side, so I introduced the national, Russ can introduce the Malaysian team, but it was a real pleasure to cave with all of you who are partially here, because we really managed to have a lot of fun. You see smiling faces, and really we will show you to get results.
All right, so just a quick one. So, okay, you see me there, and then Lee. Lee is Lee is here. I thought you're not. Yeah, I thought you're not coming. All right. So Lee just submitted his master's on paleontology in Merapoh. All right, so he's been helping us in the field digging, looking for fossils and more archaeological materials. And then we have Shiraz. Shiraz is from MCDA. Shiraz is here as well. Yeah, Shiraz is there. And Shara is my daughter, sort of forced to join. But she's used to cave, but not really gives away. But she learned a lot from this expedition. And we have Zaris. Zaris also a part of MCKC, so he's currently doing work on spiders in caves. And finally, we have Lee. So Lee from MCDA as well, and also from MCKC. So Lee will be sharing his part, his talk today.
So that is one of the first areas we went. You see here the passage of Kuababa, it's called, is one of the caves in Perlis. And there you see the location. So we were based in the village of Kaki Bukit. And what was convenient, the caves are more or less in short walking distances. Along here is a river, and the caves were here. And here you see a little bit the entrance into the unknown, one of the old mining gates where they divided the claims between different companies. And the challenge was now from initial documentation to get an understanding of these caves. And for this, we started to surveying the caves. This has been partially done, but it's a key, I mean, not just to run in, because you get lost in orientation, also to know where you are and how things connect. And that I will show how we do it in the next few slides. So that is the survey equipment we have. You see the generation, so that was developed in Switzerland actually by a club member from mine. It was the first one that was in 2008, this year, and then later it's converted a new one, this to X2, and that's what I have here. So later I can, after the talk, people interested, I can give introduction. But what it is, it's a laser pointer. And when you take a shot, like here, then it shows you this is 7.27 meters distance. It shows you that's 65 degrees, and it shows you that is the direction 264 degrees for the compass. And that's how you do the survey. You go from station to station. It's a tedious work under difficult, and you start to put a line of it, and then on top of it you also draw. So that is a key device, and what it does, and that's why I call it now electronic survey. Before we used it maybe standalone and or old PDA and made it on a paper. Some used electronic, but now it's fully electronic, and you can connect it with a smartphone, any Topodroid phone, and then you can draw a map. And just to complete the slide, so it's a little bit a challenge because there's a really low volume for this, not so many cables. So in the moment, the only device available is from the US. It's a Brick 5, which is quite expensive, around $1,000. And a new one is in development in China from a cable in Beijing, which should be soon on the market. So this is only obsolete, only second-hand devices. And here you see now what I mentioned, so where you do the shot, and then you can upload the shot into the mobile phone, connect via Bluetooth, and then you start to get a plot line. You can also make left, right, scan a little bit, and then you have here in the menu of your mobile phone, it's the Topodroid software, it's a caving software developed by Cavers. You have the drawing menu. So you can start drawing, have a drawing pen, you can erase, you can edit, you can download data, that's a connection, and you can actually also flip. So, but that's what we do in the cave. We draw this and show also where rivers are coming in and map details. And the purpose is that we later can see how things connect and also how water flows. So here you see also the people, new trainee Shiraz, where we teaching in the caves, it's hands-on teaching. We don't do it in the classroom. Here the new trail from international team and also from the Malaysian team, we had 4 sets, just got it in the hand, and then I was supervising. It's quite intuitive how to do it and helping. So that's here a lecture in the cave. Nice conditions. And here you see it outside. Also here you see the device. You see the device here next to it, and then the shot was taken, uploaded, and then you start drawing. So quite straightforward. So here it's like Rino, she's on the next station, pointing here's the station, and then you take with freehand here a shot, and then we go from station to station. At the end of the day, we have a map of this. So that is here a high image. So that is actually not polished yet. It's not the final map, but it's quite nice already, where you see the features. And we did this, we are challenging 20 days with 4 survey teams. So we had a lot of power to survey. and we managed to map 54 caves. That's what you see here is a let's say it's fine print, but that is a result. It's a Bible of the caving expedition, on which date, which cave name, the GPS coordinates, the lengths, and here is a description how to get to this cave. And also what we record is which fauna, especially for biologists. We have some members here. So we focus to collect, to note what we see on cave fauna, like spiders, fish, crabs, whatever, because it's also interesting and it's usually high interest because not so it's not good. And here you see now a summary. Before we go in the areas of the longest caves we mapped, by far the Ua Baba, where we show impressions, is 3.4 kilometers and not finished yet. That is quite long. I think it's in the top 10, getting very high, and we have the hope to make it longer. And here you see the Ua Susun, which is next to it, just a few hundred meters, 1.5. And then here Langkawi, that was a huge surprise that in Langkawi there's a 700-meter long cave, 680 meters in Langkawi. Everybody suspects small caves, but they're actually longer ones. So that is, overall, it was a very successful expedition where with a new team we managed in a relatively short time to survey 54 caves and more than 11 kilometers of cave passage. D, you want to continue with the Baba part?
So we supposed to run Zari's
Zari's.
recording. Yeah, we will run Zari's recording. So the next part will be from Zari's for the history of mining. So, but we'll be playing the recording from him.
Thank you so much for MTKC and of course for Rimba Ilmu for organizing and great talks. My name is Ken. I'll be presenting about the caves of Perlis, in particular the Nakan Range, with a brief history of tin mining and caving within the area. So firstly, where is Perlis? This is alluded to earlier, but Perlis, as you know, is some of the smallest state in Peninsular Malaysia. Now, Perlis itself is home to the Nakan Range, which is part of the Sital Formation, which is a large formation of limestone that comes from southern Thailand into Perlis and even under the Straits of Malacca and even going to Langkawi. It's a very interesting and important area of our history and important caving area and even important tin area, as you'll find out. The tin caves of Perlis are known for very, very distinct characteristics. You have lots of passages where bypasses were created. You have very well arranged rocks and sediment in these caves, even doorways, and you also have sumps whereby the water just disappears into a dark pool and you can see some material going within as well. I couldn't go in there, but Lee, who will be presenting, has been through some of these areas before. The tin caves are also known as areas which have these large lakes and bodies of water inside of them, deep ponds that were chambers with a flat ground where sediment was dug down, and as water filled up again, it became this lake. You also have high, tall caverns or pits as well, depending on which side you're looking at it. And for example, this middle photo is a ladder going up around 25 meters all the way up, and all the way shot to the ceiling around 35 meters or so. This cave in particular most likely was found from the top down. And you also have a lot of slot canyons that you have over here on the right, where in natural form it looked like that. Now the tin in Perlis is very peculiar. Some people haven't heard of it compared to the tin areas like Kinta Valley or the Klang Valley. Perlis have very similar features to these two areas which are very popular for tin. It's a limestone area which is very close to granite, contact point between granite and limestone. And this is very important because as the granite mountains and the Titi Mangsa mountain range gets eroded and weathered, a lot of the sediment And of course, minerals from there get washed down by the rivers into this limestone clay and deposited. That's how you get tin being found in pockets in the Klang and Kinta Valley. And same goes with tins in Perlis, where we have the Bukit China granite formation over here, creating some rivers, and as the rivers flow down, it brought a lot of its sediment into these wangs or valleys, Wang Kelian, Wang Tangga, for example, and the water from these two wangs actually all come out, and from Bukit China, this side, come out to Gua Kelang, which is a very popular area close to the town of Kaki Bukit. Now, these areas are very, very interesting because, of course, it's mined for tin. And tin in its bigger form, it is this, large nugget. In smaller forms, which is most common, you find it in these little, sediments just like that. And this is what they were looking for when the tin miners came in. The history goes is that in the past, tin miners would have followed these rivers, for example, over here, Sungai Timah, following it up and up as they found more and more tin, finding that the water comes from a cave. They go to a cave, there's tin inside there as well, and you go into and find these enclosed valleys which have kept a lot of tin as well. So, as how it sort of started, they followed the rivers, just like over here in Fraser's Hill, or even where they found more and more tin as they went all the way up the mountains, in this case with caves. The tin mining industry, small scale tin mining started in the 1990s, and only by the 1950s it got into a modern era where there was a lot of good equipment being used. And by the time the 60s came about, there was easily up to 25 mines or even more within a 4-kilometer radius of Kaki Bukit, contributing to around 0.7% of the tin, exports of Peninsular Malaysia. And most of the tin was mined from these caves over here, and the caves are just surrounding Kaki Bukit. But sadly, by around the 80s, a lot of global tin prices crashed, and a lot of these tin mines closed down. Now, the big question is that how a lot of these tin is found in the caves. So a lot of these caves were formed by water. They're solution caves formed by the dissolution or dissolving of the limestone rock by slightly acidic water. And this can be runoff from a large area. For example, if this was the Bukit China granite, you forgot, it's like over here, yeah. And it flows through, bringing rivers and sediments. It goes through the limestone, which is a bit softer, and dissolves it away, creates these caves. As this is happening, of course, the water brings sediment and deposits it in the cave. And these sediments are sometimes tin. And tin, the ore itself is a bit heavier, so it tends to settle down compared to lighter sediments that can be washed out much easier. And this creates the cave to be a sluice in some kind of way. What is a sluice, you probably wonder? So a sluice is something used, it's like a large longkang or drain that a lot of this slurry of mud and sand and other sediment and water is, let loose onto this tray per se. And these trays have little stays within them. And as the water flows by, a lot of heavy sediment will stay within the stays, and all the light sediments will get washed away as mud and muck. So what you want left behind is a tin ore, of course. And this is done in other industries, just like gold. On a smaller scale, it looks like this, for example. They put it through some running water, they put some sediment in there, and you get little bits of gold inside. But of course, this concept was used for tin. And the caves were like a huge version of this. So sometimes people will go into these caves, prospectors, and I find it's fully full of a black floor full of cassiterite or tin ore. Now, how is it all mined? Pretty interesting. So, with this modern equipment, what they use is pumps. They call it monitors and gravel pumps. In simple terms, they use a very high pressure hose system to wash this embankment of sediment, break it apart, and it will go into a mud and muck and slurry, and this will get vacuumed up by a gravel pump. And it will be pumped either into the cave and processed in the cave itself, or it will be processed outside. And that's why you have caves like this. This is one of the caves, which is Gua Susun. And you have these pipes over here, and you can see more photos of the pipes in Perlis. These pipes were used for two reasons, either to bring water in or to bring the slurry out and get it processed. And what powered this? Diesel engines. Sometimes there are engines inside a cave on top of a hill 400 meters above sea level, brought up a sheer limestone hill, and it's not very easy, and they all did it for the sake of mining tin and making money. And it's amazing. You can see over here, there's this deep pool. This was a flat area in the past full of this sand and sediment, tin ore. and he dug it all up. And now it's easily a 10, 5 meter or even more deep pool you sort of have to swim through these days to go to the other side. It's a little bit eerie. You can only imagine swimming through there. You'll sing a lot. And you also have these things being built. These are dikes, these dams over here. This is to control the flood flow, but most importantly, it's actually used to control water, and it's also used to, you can say, power a lot of these monitors, the high pressure water. They needed high pressure water, and a lot of it to spray these areas as well. So huge dams were created inside these caves, sometimes small, sometimes big, sometimes tiered as well. They may overflow into another, but they used and harnessed the water a little bit. And this is in one of the caves. And you see out here, this is a big pond. This is where they processed a lot of tin that was coming out. And today, of course, it's abandoned, but you can see you have these pieces of wood over here. This is where they have a walkway. How did they get up there? Back then, the soil and sediment level was just this high, by the way. And they could put these things and they dug down. And they had railway carts, you had electricity going in, you had pipes of water, bringing in water, bringing out water. It was an amazing, crazy system that was done on these areas. The caves, most of them, the tin mining area, practical pits over here, and they're mostly done right over here. There's even an area called the Miners Trail, somewhere around these parts. And tin miners would have went above the hill to caves, such as Pulau Fotai or Pusang, where they would climb up and go into a cave shaft 150 meters down this way over here and into a cave and dig out the tin, send it outside. Or even same thing with over here with Fotai, where you have the entrance way high up on this side. And of course, you also have Guak Kelang and Guak Kelang 2, which are very popular tourist caves these days, which you can actually personally see the mining history of the area. And what's interesting is that it is suspected that the water between Fotai and Lopusang and Guak Kelang, the water flows northwards in this sort of Wangmu streamway. And it's alluding to idea, theory that these caves are interconnected with each other. And in some way, they are interconnected. You find over here, this Gua Baba and Lopusang, there's a lot of doorways in these caves, the same thing with Gua Kelang. And these doorways, because you have different concessionaires digging, and they found as they dug, they connected with a different concessionaire. And you find that, oh, this is the same cave we're following. They're just enlarging or just digging out sediment out of a cave that had been clogged with a lot of dirt and mud over the hundreds of thousands, close to millions of years, you never know. And they're just restoring, in some way, a natural cave system, or what it used to be. So it's quite fascinating. So on the life side, it's also quite interesting. Caves are enclosed ecosystems, just like your car. If you bring pizza or you fart, it will smell, because it's enclosed. So over here, you don't get much light in there. It's a cave. So you get water and air, or wind, bringing in a lot of the energy. Water will bring in decaying organic matter, and wind blowing it in. And that's what are the most popular energy sources you find in these Nakawan caves. And because of that, you get very specialized animals living in this cave, such as this pseudoscorpion, the Danus genus over here. One of them is found in Thailand. And not many collections have been done on the Malaysian side, but it's found 1 kilometer in a cave. It's quite interesting. For those who go at night with hurt, you'll find that this shrimps always reflect their eyes, but this one does not. So it's something to definitely look into. Like millipedes, right over here, this millipede is quite large. Normally it's quite small, the ones that you find in the cave. So this is quite a peculiar find. And the next one, lastly over here, it looks like a spider. It's actually a harvestman type of arachnid. And this is also found inside the caves that we have went through in this expedition, especially in Wat Susun, where these photos were taken. And these creatures could be new species. And an important part is that if you find these similar species in other caves further away, it is a sign that these caves used to be interconnected with each other in the past, or perhaps still connected with each other, and we just haven't found those connections. Now, the mysteries of Perlis is a very interesting area with the hydrology of how the water flows and used to flow. You have to remember that limestone hill has been here for 400 million years, and a lot of things have changed. We had a thing called dinosaurs, remember those? And of course, there's a lot of things to study. For example, where does the water come from? We know the water comes from Bukit China, which is over here, but a lot of water from the range also comes out and feeds Timantaso Lake over here. Where does the water flow and how does it flow inside a hill? And of course, where does water flow into a hill? By caves. Most importantly is also documentation of our human heritage. We have people coming over here from a distant country, finding a new life and a new beginning, a total Malaysian dream, working in their minds, but a lot of people now are trying to preserve the caves, and some of them have their ancestry to these cave mining. So it's a beautiful sight to see, to have these generational work inside the caves. And it's very poorly documented. So a lot of it can be documented and should. Surveys are one of them, photography, stories, books, whatever have you, and we're going to talk to you here with today. There's also the natural heritage of the life that you find inside. Limestone harbors a great amount of endemic life. So you can easily find new species within these caves. And the most latest species was done in 2009, around so, new species of crab. So there's new species always to be found within there. And the next one, lastly, is the management authority can be better informed of good or better management practices to earn a better income from this area, which is now a state park. The Langkawi Range all the way to Wang Tangga and Wang Pilihan is part of the Perlis State Park. In some ways, it's the only limestone state park in Malaysia, or Peninsular Malaysia, say. So it's quite interesting. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed the talk. If you love reading, please take a photo of this reference. If you do want it and you can't really see it, just drop us an email. I'll happily share this and you can go crazy with reading. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm Cyrus Ken. Enjoy the talk. Thank you.
Alright, so the next one will be from Lee. She will be sharing more about kaki bukit. Caves. Okay.
Okay, thank you for the invitation by the Dr. Rose for me to allow me to join this trip. So when I see the schedule, the time is quite interesting because I got the chance to explore the North Park. Especially, there's a chance we can go back to the Perlis, which I did explore last time with Dr. Azhar, I think about 2016, quite a few years ago. So that time, how we explore, we are talking to the local people. At the end, we found this so-called the Gua Baba. So inside the Gua Baba, during the time, we are only 2 persons. So we explored the cave, but we didn't go far inside the cave. So later on, during this trip, we got the chance to explore and able to connect the so-called the cave that I will mention later on with the teams. So the core team member that doing the cave survey here is in the picture me, York, Lei, Nina, at the small picture, the red color shirt, us, and Tomo and Reno. So we've been spending here almost 4 or 5 days, I can't remember. It's every day we go in about 9 o'clock and came out about 8 or 9 in the evening. Because the system is quite huge. And then due to the existing map, so based on the existing map, there is 2 maps here. So there is one is specifically, the left one is the Gua Baba. If you can see here below, there is like a question mark connecting to Loposang. So the right hand side is another part, is a map about the Loposang, and you can see at the right corner there is a question mark connection to the Gua Baba. So one of our tasks during this trip is to try to make a full map, to try to connect from the entrance until the end. So due to the this cave, actually there's a natural part and there is a mining part. So here a lot of passages that still a lot of question mark, but we try to follow this map and do quite a lot of a survey. So at the end, we managed to connect all these these 2 maps together in here in the next one. So this is the map using the electronic survey as mentioned by York. So we've been, I think here got 5 or 6 survey at the right hand side. So we connected all from the beginning, so till the end. We managed to find the connection between Loposang to the Baba, the connection, and also we survey the other location that yet to be surveyed. And it's still going on, and we're not able to finish all part of the cave. So we leave it all question mark inside the cave, which we can come back later on. So this is the electronic generated map using the Survex. So you can see here, you can got the elevation So about you can have an image and you can imagine how in the cave, the height based on the color. So to survey this cave is quite tough because the cave is full with mud and full with the water. You need to swim, and then we carry the device that is not waterproof. So we need to be quite careful to do the survey. This is the most challenging part, we will say. So in the picture is Nina. She is almost my cave survey buddy during this trip. For 4 days, she with me. So inside here you can see all the leftover things from the past. You can see like in the cigarette box, which you cannot see nowadays. Some other the wharf, the leftover. There's still other leftover things inside these mines. So there is some living things that inside here, especially this snake. This snake is normally they're waiting around near the exit of the cave. If you go inside here, definitely you will see him or she. Definitely you will be there. Every time I go in, I will see him. So we try to avoid this snake because during my experience, the first time when we come in here, actually the snake attacking us when we're taking picture of them. So he will climb up to the wall and he will attack from there. Just be careful, even though you look like small. So there's a two part inside here. You can know, just now I mentioned about the Baba and the Loposa. So there's actually, when you go inside the cave, all the way is quite muddy and filled with the water. But there's very clear part that is differentiated between Baba and Loposa is this area. We call it the sandy beach area. So once you go through all the water, mud area, you crawl, at the end you will reach quite a nice, we call quite sandy and firm area. So this is where the Loposa start, which we are keep finding during the trip. So you can see here, to go inside this cave, there's a lot of like the passage that fill with water and mud. So as I'm a cave diver, so one of my interests in this cave is to find the underwater passage here. So I find quite a few promising places to dive. One of this one is, I didn't give the name yet. So it's about 400 to 600 meters from the entrance. So actually this is a sump. So I don't have the video because at the time I didn't expect I can find a good dive site here, but somehow this is quite a good one. But I didn't bring the camera at that time. So once I go down here, so it's like actually it's the natural cave below. You keep going down, it's all the sandy bottom. It's getting quite big and keep going down. I dive until 12 meters and I stop. Because I only carry a single S40 cylinder tank. So I don't want to take the risk and then just to check out the dive. So we will come back here to continue our exploration below the water. So the same, this is the sump at the end of the part. So if you see from the map just now, this is the Loposa part. So there is a sump behind here. I didn't manage to go through because the visibility is quite bad. But I believe, I saw the passage down there, so we will keep this one in the future. Because you need to hike about 2 to 3 kilometers to go inside this sump. So another good part is about this one, okay, which Zarish showed just now. So this is one of the, I would say, it's the entrance to their walking area. So you can see here, there is a stair going down. So up here you see there's no structure above the mines or the cave. But if you go inside the water, you can see all the structures still intact. It's very nice down there. So it's keep going down. I think maybe I dive about 10 meters and it's keep going down. And then there is like a working area down there. It's all well intact. I would say the wood or the leather and the pipe. So this is one of the interesting points. But this is quite near inside the Loposa. In order to come here, you need to walk about 2 kilometers. It's quite a distance. This is about the Baba cave tour. I mean, of course we explore quite a few caves at the Perlis, but I concentrate only the Baba. Yeah. So, have any question? No question, huh? No? Okay. Okay, so I try to cover topic for Langkawi. Okay, so this is the Langkawi. You can see all the blue flag is all the place that we visit, and there's all the cave located. So this is our team here at the Langkawi with the local authority from the Lada. The red color tudung, the pink color or red color tudung is a Shida. So she been accompany us during the trip. So as Langkawi, we always every day we were using the boat to go to the cave. So this is the first cave we visit here. I can't remember the name. Sorry.
Crocodile.
Crocodile cave. Crocodile cave. So it's a small cave, but somehow here Lei found the fossil. Yeah, it's quite interesting. He can spot anything that people cannot see. Even though it's just a not so interesting cave, but it makes it interesting. Imagine he had to carry this stone all the way back to Kuala Lumpur. You need to abseil this log, you need to take care, go into the ferry. Not just one, there's a few back. He found the gastropod, right? Gastropod, yeah. So gastropod on the rock, yeah, it's actually quite interesting. But it's not my area, so it depends on the Dr. Ross and the team later on if they want to do further study on this. So we go quite a few caves at the Langkawi. So yeah, I think this is a Langsia cave, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. You want to add anything? So I'm new to cave survey. So during this trip, I learned how to do survey with under the York guide. So yeah, quite good. I bring a big tablet because I cannot see well. Not like them, they just bring a PDA, a small smartphone, but I'm using the tab to do my cave mapping. So like usually we're just looking around for fossil. So this is Dr. Ross. So after we do all the cave survey, we come down, we take a rest, but she's still like termenong, So I asked her what she's doing there. She said she's trying to record down all the what we're doing today in the logbook. So this is a Kalawa cave. It's quite a nice cave. Because when we come here, there is other visitor. They ask us, where is the bed? Because there is a bed cave. So I show them the picture. Then they ask where we took the picture. I just tell them it's in the front. You need to on your light in order to see them. Because they didn't bring a light and the bed is, of course, it's black color. They cannot see the lawa, of course. So yeah, I don't know whether they find it later, but you need to put on some light in order to see. It's quite nice actually. So this Langkawi cave, some is quite big, as York said just now, about 700 meter, and then some actually is quite long. But of course, there is some small cave. But even though the cave some is not that big or long, but they are full of the speleotum inside. So it's a very nice place to visit. I believe many places is being forgotten by the people, and then the place to come here is not that easy. Yeah, I hope this expedition can bring up the awareness. There is other places they can visit in Israel. I need to see better. So as usual, I'll be doing the survey. This is Dr. Rose's daughter. She is also learning the survey during the trip. So Lei and Dr. Rose, every day we are just on the boat. Yeah, actually it's quite, because here if maybe local help from the Lada, we got the chance to travel quite a lot using the boat. I think free ride But if we want to go all these kind of places every day, you will need to charter quite. The boat is not cheap. I will put it this way, it's not cheap. But yeah. So this is Dr. Rose taking a fossil. It's the Nautilus. If you can see from the picture, and it's also found by Lay. It's hidden below part of the stalagmite. He want to dig out, but he's stopped by the guy. It's quite nice one, yeah, this one. So as usual, everywhere we go, we do cave survey, we do exploration, but Lay and the team, some they are interested in the fossil. He like to dig. So remember, not all the cave you cannot dig, basically. Don't dig. But yeah, or for maybe research you can dig. Okay, of course, as I'm a cave diver, so I'm quite sensitive about cave. So previously, we didn't explore the cave at Langkawi because due to the logistic difficulty. But during this trip, I found there's a places that there's a chance to have an underwater cave. So I talked to Shida from the LADA. So maybe we will come back here next time. There's another section that I think is quite potential to have a cave underwater. So this is one of the cave. Is belong to the sea. There is some a bit underwater, but don't know whether it can go down or not. But we did the survey to this cave. No name, right? This one no name. No name, right?
Sea cave.
Sea cave. But this cave have no name yet. So of course there is a lot of the fossil that can be found around the area, which I don't think people is noticing yet. Whether it's interesting or not, I'm not sure. It's left to the researcher or the tourism there. We show them. So yeah. Then we recorded some of the living thing inside the cave. This is at the cave near the temple. So we found the tortoise. We also found not this one. We found the trapdoor inside the cave. So when this scorpion is living, we found is live in we spot this scorpion at our homestay. Just to show, not inside the cave. This one not inside the cave. Before this is our dinner at the Langkawi. So I think the day before we depart to the Perlis. These are the teams that involved in the cave survey at the Langkawi. Thank you, yeah.
So I'll continue a bit more on Baling. But unfortunately, I realized that I didn't share many photos. I'm regretting it now. Anyway, it's okay. I'll try to keep it to the time actually. So I thought I don't want to have the slide to be too long. Anyway, so this is Baling. So Baling town is somewhere here. Baling town. So from our hotel, so we got a nice view of the limestone bare hill of Gunung Baling. Basically, I was a bit confused earlier when I talked to the locals. When I said I'm going to Baling, so they asked me, are you talking about Baling or Pulai? So to the locals, even though what you can see is a single hill, to the locals here is Gunung Baling, here is Gunung Pulai. Okay. So if you look at this, even from the area view like this, I was already curious about the shape of the hill. So it's like a curve, like a crescent, And the Sungai Ketil actually just wide the hill sort of, and just flowing along the bank, all right, the flank of the limestone hill. And then there's another small hill. I found out from old literature it was called Bukit Wang. But when I asked the locals say they don't know. They just call this area Kampung Cik Mas. Right. So my student, can I just, okay. Sorry, I go here first. So I actually assigned 3 students final year project as a start of to study Baling cars in Baling. With the help from the locals, they recognized, they identified 21 caves. Of course, there are more caves. But 21 was identified and actually listed, and most of them occurred along the southeast flank of the hill. Okay, so most of them along here. So we actually my student actually active listed all this. Okay, and then a few like 3 here. So recently I got to know from the locals they found another cave here. So during this expedition, we surveyed everything except for 1 year, another 1 year that was already surveyed by the student. Okay, so we have done quite a lot in Baling in only 3 days. So I'm so proud of the team and I'm so happy because I got all the documents. Okay. All right, so let's go back to where we were. Okay, so just to show you, so Zari's already showed you how big Stoll Formation is, right? Large, thick, all right, and huge network of caves, kilometers of caves in Stoll Formation, all right? So what we have here is in Baling. So this is from old literature, but still very useful, from Burton. So Burton come up with this profile. Okay. I hope you can see clearly from here that the limestone in Baling is considered to be only thin bits or lenses. Very small amount of limestone. Only 7% of Keroh Formation is limestone. So to me, it's considered thin. So I'm interested on the thin limestone as well. Okay. So as you can see, you can see over here. This is the part where it's exposed on the surface, and a bit from here is mostly underground, and over here I have not explored yet. So when we at a higher location in Gunung Layang-Layang, so one of the local told me over there is also limestone. So I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yes." "Is there caves there?" She said, "Yes." Okay, I said, "Next time." So we have not explored this one yet. And this is Wekatil running here, okay? And this map should be updated because Bukit Wang is not shown, okay? So that could be for next project, okay? All right, so yeah, I don't have much. I don't have photos from Baling. Okay, so Merapoh. Why is it nothing there in Merapoh? What happened? I have no idea. But anyway, Merapoh.
Is still going ahead in Bali by the green, what they call the green pyramid. There was a quarry license.
Oh yeah, I forgot about quarry. So let's get back to Bali. Are you talking about the new quarry?
The local people
Yeah.
forest.
So this area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, I was attracted. I was actually asked to come to help the locals, to sort of fight for the not to be quarried, for the area not to be quarried, and strong opposition on the EIA. So the quarrying has been sort of halted. But when I talk to the locals, they mentioned there's no black and white yet of the quarry is totally stopped. But at the moment, it's quiet. So this is the latest I heard from the locals. Even recently, even 2 weeks ago when I talked to the locals, they're happy because it's quiet. And then the Baling folks, Baling locals, now they are pushing for tourism. Okay. Of course, cars, tourism always is something like that's the only thing to do. But at the same time, really hope for sustainable one. Okay. And then during the time when we went to the media, so Baling was sort of popular, and they received a lot of visitors. But now when I talk to the locals, it's quiet now, except for this area. So Bukit Sireh is actually run by the Baling Majlis Bandaran Baling for tourism, which is good because it's all with lighting, everything. So I didn't have the photo. I'm so silly. But if you go there, you look at the area, you see that you shouldn't go to any quarrying. Definitely, it's so nice. The area is so nice, very nice, beautiful place. Okay. All right. But there is a quarry here.
There's also a median of those shells there, so there must be a prehistoric site.
Yeah, definitely. We're also looking for a few quaternary materials. So they also found some tooth remains, bones. Yeah. It's a very potential area for both archaeology and quaternary paleontology. Okay, and then I'm sure this area here, I'm so interested on this part. But this is all very thick vegetation, and I also already asked the locals, have anyone been here? Actually, this area is not really frequented by the locals. Only this part.
It's forest or kebun? Forest.
Forest. This part is basically forest. This area. And then when I talk to the locals, they say they don't go there. And the more important thing is done by Akif. Akif is here actually. Akif is here. So Akif did this for the final year project. Very good student. I'm so happy with his work. So Akif figured out the drainage, okay, and the thing that the point that I use during the opposition for the quarry is the streams from this area that goes into Sungai Ketil, and 1.5 kilometer from Sungai Ketil is the Loji Rawatan Air Sungai Limau. Okay, so any quarrying could probably influence or impact the water that goes straight into the main river here. Okay, and then Akif located the more streams that's we cannot see from the satellite photo by using GIS, and then we figure out all the sinking streams, and then we can figure out more cave network over here. We can estimate more cave network. So very happy with the study. So that's why I'm so glad that the expedition add in more data. Okay. All right. we're almost at the end. Merapoh. Okay, let me talk a bit about Merapoh. So Merapoh also was, Merapoh was also threatened by quarry. Okay, and then the Layu Pasir, probably the name is familiar. So but Layu Pasir has fought to protect Merapoh caves. So he did, and a group of cavers from Croatia actually did some surveys, and we know there are many hundreds, lots of unexplored caves, and there are now Lipis Geopark, and 2 of the caves are within the geosite. Okay, I hope they're okay at the moment. Okay, and so we are glad to continue a bit and add more to the data. Okay, we did 3 caves, right? Merapoh. Okay. So I think we are almost at the end. You want to do this? Okay. All right. So basically, just a summary of our expedition. Like York mentioned earlier, 54 caves explored. All right. 4 areas researched, like shown earlier. So 8 members out of 12, right? Together, trained in electronic survey. I wish I have more time to practice after Lao, but I was the monkey station all the time here, but still nice. And then we have more discovery of SAMs for diving, and also many leads and ideas for the next expedition. So overall, the expedition covered 11,036 kilometers. Okay, and you can survey. Sorry, meters. 1.1 kilometers. 11 kilometers. I'm so ambitious, yeah. Sorry for that. All right, so and then you can see here Kaki Bukit is the longest explored, and the second one is Langkawi, Baling and Merapoh. So before I end, of course I would like to say I like York's style. So he asked me, ask the local what they want. It's not that what we want. Ask the local what they want. So when we went to Langkawi, for example, I talked to the LADA officials. I said, what do you want? What caves you are interested for us to map? So it's very nice to hear that they have some preference, and they get us there. All right. And for Baling, basically, people don't ask questions, it's up to you. And then I say, okay, I'll do everything that we've covered so far. And for Kaki Bukit, it's all mysterious. We just go there, almost like the first time for me, and we just do whatever we want, okay? And for Merapoh, we just add into the data, okay? All right. Okay, of course, the acknowledgements to this, all the locals that have us. Without them, of course, the expedition won't take place, all right? So I really like this photo because when we arrived in Langkawi, we did a meeting and everybody was so, eager to share out and what's the next plan. Because at this stage, like me personally, I got no idea how to start. Okay, but the locals help us. Okay. So this is the last slide for today. So these are all the individuals. Probably a few not here. And of course, many locals involved, and they have their own interest, okay, and they've been protecting the sites basically, okay. And then of course, thanks to LADA, the boat arrangement, okay, for 5 days, and then Kedah State Government, especially Datuk Saleh Saidin, who actually arranged for an online meeting with me to know what it was all about. And then he provided some support for our transportation, okay? And also for, basically mostly for transportation. And Perlis State Park, definitely. And part of the research was also funded by my grant, the Baling and Merapoh. I think that's all. I open to Q&A. So I'm sure the coffee and tea already outside, the food already outside. Those who's not fasting, you can have your food. Okay? Outside. Okay. So questions, please. Yeah.
Okay, actually, I'll just speak now. All right, congratulations. A really impressive number of caves visited and surveyed, and it's a tremendous addition to our knowledge of caves. It's really valuable. I'm so impressed with that. I know that Lei is on your team, and you did mention a little bit about the fossil. I was impressed with some of the mentions of the fossil finds from some of the locations. But maybe you could say a little bit more about like the summary of the fossil finds. I was particularly fascinated to see a rhino from Langkawi. Is that the first? It's a new record from Langkawi. And were there any other exciting fossil finds from other locations?
All right. So the thing that I want to mention, I am more into quaternary paleontology. We are doing quaternary science or quaternary geology. So I'm not really into the whole fossils. Anyway, I would like to share with you that in Gua Susun, I forgot the photos, I'm sorry. In Gua Susun, we found the fossils 500 meters into the cave. So to me, that's interesting because one thing when I find old fossils in caves, in my mind it's like, oh, how wonderful, because the fossils are so protected. Meaning, usually paleontologists work outside. So the fossils that they gathered, they dig up, always actually exposed to the elements, to the sun, to the rain. But in the cave, when it's on the ceiling, for example, and you know the water level would go higher, higher up to the ceiling, so you know that it's protected. So we found that in some old Serto limestone fossils. So that's one. Mostly in Serto limestone that we gathered. When we talk about Chuping limestone, Chuping is basically already marble. So if you understand a bit of geology, so when the rock is metamorphosed, so basically the limestone get changed, get so heated up, and get recrystallized to form large grain of calcite, and no more. Basically, your fossils are gone. So that's why I mentioned earlier. In Baling, we do not see anything. Baling is totally marble, so that's why they're interested to quarry as well. Good quality. Okay, and the rest is basically the quaternary paleontology. Yes, and actually a lot in Chuping formations in Perlis. So we look at the shelters on top of the cave where we found the rats' teeth. So there are a number of also the quaternary paleontology sites. Okay, actually too overwhelming for me even to talk about it because I got no more students to continue with this. I hope I answer your question. Okay, hi, Suri. Yes.
Yeah, sure. I remember asking you some time back about the shape of the Baling Lake, right? And in the older literature, there was some, the thinking that it was a sunken, big hill that was sunken down, and then that caused the shape of the hill. But you were saying that you don't think so, right? So
Okay,
you have any
I
viewpoint
wish
for
to,
that?
I wish that to happen. It's easier for me
Yeah.
because I can say that it's a huge sinkhole, some sort of sinkhole that collapsed. And part of the collapse is Bukit Wang. But if you look at
Maybe show the map again.
There's this one, the profile better. So if you look at this, it doesn't look it's a bigger mess. Right? If you want to say that it's actually a dawning that is collapsing, but over here it doesn't show. Yeah. So, but this is old, so it should be updated. So if I have students work on this, okay, or even colleagues interested to this, probably we do a bit more geology next time. less on the expedition, less on the survey, more on geology. So probably if we can find more limestone underground, probably it can be used to support the hypothesis. I'm bringing this to Brazil in July, but my abstract has not been accepted. I'm bringing this to Brazil to ask people opinion. Okay, in International Congress of Speleology, the same conference that we attended in 2022.
Of course, when we visited Baling in the tubing landscape, and the villagers told us that somebody had died there. They were trying to cut the stalactites off the ceiling, and they were apparently very big, and they'd fallen and crushed one of the men. Is there much stealing of these geological features from the cave?
Which area?
Tubing.
You mean, is it still going on now?
I don't know. I think that was quite a.
What's your question?
Going for crystal.
What's your question?
Is this a problem with people stealing cave features?
Yeah, a lot. Some areas, not at all. So from what I understand, for example, in Gunung Kriang, the whole length of Waterpost. So it's still going on now. So that's why Gunung Kriang is not in our list. It's already too damaged. But of course, those under the geopark, they are sort of, protected. I mean, no, I don't hear that. But I'm not very sure about the previous activities. Baling, no. So this is a good thing about Baling.
Sorry, still on the subject of healing, and no more specific about it. When I climbed the hill back in 2003, the locals were taking out the psychic, the paku aji.
Yeah.
Are they still doing that now?
I think so. They don't take the stalactites, That's a good thing about Baling. But of course, they dug up the guano, still going on now, and the plant, yes. And I think that's all I can think of. Merapoh, no. No such activities in Merapoh. So Merapoh is more like a sort of more, caves are more, like, people don't really go into caves in Merapoh.
Because when we were doing our survey in Morocco, we were told that somebody from Thailand gone around all the kampongs and offered 10 ringgit a kilo for big orchids. So I think it's very vulnerable for plants, for people just coming down from Thailand.
Okay. So it's happening?
Yeah, I think it seems the border is quite open in the north of the country, so a lot of they know what to get from the limestone hills.
Yeah. Something that we need to take note, yeah?
Yeah, but the thing is, we use a lot of them, the local villagers as guides, and they're very aware because they also work in Tamanagara. The long-term value of keeping all the biodiversity is because then they can benefit, whereas somebody comes and pays them once and take things away, and that's the end of it. So I think there is potential to get local people to protect the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. You mentioned that you had guides with you on the boat. Could you just tell us a little bit about these guides? My second question is, your final photo about the community, the people, you said the locals who were helping you. Could you share some profile about them? Who were they? And why they were interested in helping out?
All right, so basically they are all somehow involved with the cars over there. So the first one, Aizat is from one organization in Perlis, Perlis Climbers. So he's also running sort of a recreational climbing as well, on cast, Bukit Kateri. So we were there as well, very nice place. Along is resident community in Kaki Bukit. So he's also like a tourist guide. So he's bringing people in for the tourists.
So is he a guide or he is not a guide?
He's a guide.
Is he licensed?
License, yeah. He's part of the Geo Park, right? Yes. Part of the Geo Guide program under Geo Park. Well, we forgot to mention, Perlis is also a Geo Park. And all the cars is included in the Geo Park. And Lisa is an activist, not a guide, activist. So she was called during the fight inquiry. So she's the one who contacted me to go and have a look, and yeah, I'm still doing Bali because of her. They're very, very nice. And then Zam is the ranger working for Lada. The same with Shida, also a ranger for Lada. And oh my God, Hakim. Hakim. Also a young ranger, just started a month ago, already assigned to follow us. And then Pakcik Rosli is also sort of a geo guide, but specialized in Pulau Tuba. So if anyone interested to go to Pulau Tuba, so get Rosli. He has they call it safari, what? Car. Okay, to bring people around Pulau Tuba. And then Seni is a local guide in Merapoh. Okay, and Mizi and Yi, both are locals. They bring people up the peak, Gunung Pulai. So these are this one of the activities for the tourists in Baling. They used also to bring caves, to bring people to caves, but I heard from them at the moment not much request.
Continue to that answer that you gave. Not much request because of people don't know about their service, or
I think not much promotion. So the only tour, cave tour, the only show cave is in Sirih. So Sirih got all the promotion, something.
I feel your studies, and what you've done there is very important. And with you working with LADA, I think we should, there must be some mention about why it's important, as the lady mentioned about unauthorized visits into these places where they can actually destroy our natural heritage. So, because the government is promoting a lot of what they call community host program. That means getting the local people to be involved, to take tourists around, so that these local people can also look after the natural heritage. So in your reports or in your relationship with them, I think it's something good to add that these areas need to be protected. And if the government has plans to have this community host program, these people should be given the opportunity, because it's sad to hear that they want to promote Baling as a tourist place, a touristic spot, but then it just fell through. So what actually happened? If you want to have promotion, tourism, because Baling is an important state. I mean, we're going to go back historically, other than just the past. But historically, Baling also has its own history in Malaysia. So something must be done, because LADA is there. You have a very good partner, and if that can be like enhanced, so that if everybody is talking the same thing, hopefully they will take action.
So under Geopark, the concept's there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, under Geopark it's there already. But to say that these areas are officially protected under Geopark, it's not always the case. So in my opinion, for example, Langkawi is under HSK, so it's okay. Confirm it's okay. But the rest, like Bali, still, still not. It's a bit still not there. So I'm not really into tourism, because I'm so worried about tourism being more damage to the cars. But if tourism is the answer to have protecting, so I think I'll agree with that. Okay. Any more questions to other speakers?
I know in Goping they have porcupines in the caves. Did you see any porcupines in your expedition?
Did we? Porcupine. Oh, we found a lot of porcupine fossils. Yes, but not the live one.
Spikes really.
Merapoh has like, I don't know, Lee can talk about porcupine. I'm tired of yeah, the fossils, yes.
The fossils.
But the live one, probably they are on there. But we didn't see one, right?
I know in Perlis, the guides in Perlis keep on seeing porcupines in Gua Kelam.
Ah, okay. I think porcupine just don't like us.
The water also.
Yeah.
All the water everywhere.
Yes. Right.
You know my theory about porcupine.
Yes.
But they want to bring the
So there are some marks. No. Okay, any more? Any more for other speakers? Not me.
Maybe for Lee, okay, I have a question for the cave guides. Is there potential for cave diving tourism in Malaysia?
I mean, I would say yes. Of course, because currently we've been exploring quite a lot of areas in Malaysia. There's a lot of places that you can dive, but there is not an easy means. Not for the newbie, I would say, easy to be more experienced. So until I see this Perlis, actually Perlis, this one I got to go back quite long already. So this time I managed to go back. So the place that I showed just now, that one is quite comfortable. I think, and then there's another area, the area is quite big, the entrance, and the water is clean, seems like very clear. So I think it's possible. I did talk to the local community there. So we might go there to survey and then talk to the forestry, how to develop this part.
There's in Lokosa.
Lokosa and some other area is at Wampu area, Wampu Khas area.
Okay, no more? Shall we end our session?
Book sale, book sale.
Okay, hold on. Alright, so I bring, okay, so MCKC, yeah? Yeah. So we, I'm sure a lot of you, most of you know us, MCKC, but those who are not familiar with us, we've done our first scientific expedition on Batu Caves, so we come up with this book, okay? And we are doing Takut now. So we are seeking for support in any way possible to produce another book like this, but for Bukit Takut and Anak Takut. So we'll be doing our symposium next month, 24th, and Cucu Takut. Bukit Takut, Anak Takut, and Cucu Takut. Yes, so we'll be on the 24th April. So if you're interested to be our member, you get a free book today. I brought 9 with me. I'm very ambitious.
Sign me up.
Yeah. If anyone wants to sign up today, you can also sign up and you get a free book right away.
I don't ask you lah.
And we also have these t-shirts. Our Konon merchandise. So 25 ringgit. So you can get it today if you want.
Where is the seminar?
Huh?
The
Sandcast Golf Resort.
okay.
24th is Concord. Okay? Alright, so I think that's all from me.
How much
Any more
membership
questions?
fee?
Huh?
How much the book?
Oh, the book is free with membership. So
This one you buy the book?
Just pay for the membership.
Actual price is 60 ringgit. So we are selling the book to support our next project and our next project. So with this expedition, actually, I wish next year to bring a group of scientists, to do the scientific expedition there. So we have 2 groups, cave surveying, the scientist group. They don't mix, huh? They don't mix. They do their own thing. So that's my next ambition. We'll see what happens because we are a small organization. We are relying on donation and also support from the public for the proper cost management in our country. Alright? Yeah, all the books there.
Yeah. Oh, food, drinks, kuih,
So please help yourself. Make sure you finish everything.
Yeah.
So please finish everything. Please. You need to be prepared to bring home if it's too much.
I lecture part-time. Sometimes it gets I don't sleep there.
Are you? I heard your voice. Good to see you. No, all the relevant it's still the same thing. People collecting psycheds. So I think just published a small It's a private establishment. So actually they conducted free. They asking for the free conduct free, so they gave them.
So Tantra is it for like so they can be
it's a progress, but I think with gathering by the one attracted me was
I didn't know. Asked her today.
Some of them I disagree. So I set up an office there.
I'm like, yeah, I would not touching you because you feel like having a 3 weeks summer and secondary, so like can have a discussion with you, make your progress. Making good progress. Actually, diabetes 5. That's the problem. Okay. I'm not saying
Stop lah. No, this one Lee now.
Oh, yeah. Then you better.
Apa?